You have Visual Studio Code, you have Python, and you want to know how to set up an API. First step is to install the Flask Python package. Once that's done, you import Flask and any relevant components. So we've imported Flask, JSONify, and request. Flask is a class that will be used to create the app. JSONify is a function to return JSON responses and requests. And requests is just an object for HTTP responses. Create the Flask app and give it a name. The double underscore name represents the name of the file or the class it's being used in. Next, we'll call the app's run function. What this does here is it first checks if the file name is main, and then it runs it. So if we just run this application, it will work. To test if your application is working, just control left click the running on IP here. And you should get a window pop up saying 404 not found. So now you have a basic Flask application that can be ran. Now you need to set up routes that will be used in your Flask application. What this route does is the home route. So anyone visiting that API from a HTTP request, they'll get a JSON reply of hello from Flask. I'll show you. So we visited our API and it returned a JSON reply of hello from Flask. But an API isn't just about receiving a JSON response from the base URL. You can also include arguments in the base URL, which can be handled in the backend. To do this, we can create a greet endpoint, which will be a GET request. In this function, we use the request object to obtain the argument called name and then use it in the JSON reply. We can test this by adding the name argument when we visit the URL. So we first visit the base of the URL, which is the /, it's hello from Flask, and then we can add the API greet endpoint to this. And then we can add all the arguments we need. You can also create post requests, which sends data to the API. So what this does here, it uses the request object to get the JSON post that we sent to the API endpoint, and then it returns a JSON response with a success, followed by the data we sent to it, and then the HTTP response 201. We can test this post request using curl in our Windows terminal. where -d would be the JSON data we are sending in the post request. If you set everything up correctly, you should get a JSON response with the received data and the status as success.